I want to address a couple of things. And the first one being that the reason for why I said in my last video about that Conway could have created another fire dragon instead of using Fafnir, twisting his story and plugging him in so then people who are especially unaware end up calling on a dragon that they don't have any idea who actually is, unless they actually know of him or bothering her to actually do the research rather than just blindly trusting someone. That was kind of like a jab at her because I can't find any history on the other three. Meaning mythological history. Now, some people may care about that, like I do. Some people may not, and that's perfectly fine. But I myself, that may be why I had a difficult time connecting with them. I felt dragon energy, but it wasn't from them. So, and I thought that it was me at the time. Again, I am a fire element. Well, primarily a fire element, but the other thing that I want to address is this mentality of everybody gets a dragon. Back in 2012, I say 2012 because, you know, that's when my first Draconic Path video came up. I try to warn people that this is not a path to be taken lightly. Dragon magic in general, when you mix dragons with anything, dragons are something you need to be careful of. They're old, they're ancient, they're going to be cranky, they're going to be set in their ways. It's kind of like dealing with grandparents. So, and not only that, but you, kind of like Fafnir, you have no idea who you're dealing with. And not only that, but why should they respect you? Why should they trust you? Because even, you know, years down the line, some still side-eye me. Because they have trust issues with humans. And that's perfectly fine. Humans are a very questionable species. And that's all that I'm gonna say. I can hear my children outside. But they're not kittens. They're not gonna work with just anybody. This is a very dragon magic in general. Dragon energy in general is very serious. It's very heavy. I've been in a room trying to literally stand up, and I nearly ended up on my knees because of how heavy it was. And that's, I always have to explain myself that it's not an ego trip. It's trying to teach you something. And I'm not trying to gatekeep, even though the Draconic Path, specifically, you know, of the specific title is mine. But that is not to say that other people do not work with dragons or attempt to work with dragons, and that's perfectly fine. So I'm just basically giving basic advice that has nothing to do with my specific path. Okay? They're not kittens. They're not things that just breed and, you know, have kittens within 9 weeks. And then, you know, they're not kittens. They're not puppies. They're not cute and fluffy things to be taken care of as pets. Or, you know, the animal kingdom is rather cruel. So there's also the possibility of other things happening. But, yeah, they're not pets. And I really feel as though with I just used my term, the draconic pathways, the tradition expanding as it is, or has. Maybe this is just my opinion, and that's perfectly fine. But it feels as though a lot of that respect has been lost. And even in some old workings that have been quoted on certain blogs, mention about, you know, commanding and I'm your master and this, that, and that. They're not dogs. They're not cats. And even cats, they train us. We don't train them. That's my opinion of cats. I'm gonna end up repeating myself because I've already said it. They're not cute and fluffy pets. And I really wish that people would understand this and respect them for the beings that they are. But, you know, you try to say this, and I'm saying it as nicely as possible, without the fiery aspect that I used to use with trying to drill into people's heads. And I'm not gatekeeping, it's just... And again, I'm repeating myself, because I have to over-explain myself, because people don't listen to me. Kind of like my children. That's another thing that's been bugging me. And of course I share things and people are like, oh, well, you're just cuckoo, or, you know, you're a bully, or who are you in order to try to, you know, control someone else's path, and that's not what this is. And what other people can understand my intents, my intentions, and the reasons for why I share the things that I do, and why I have in the past, then we'll all be on the same page. Because it's not about control. It's about keeping you safe. So, that is all.